everyone. My name is Olivia, and my teammates Griffin, Hope, and Emily and I have been working on the Heritage Farm social media marketing plan together and are so excited to present this to you today. Just a really quick overview of our project. So the purpose behind it is to develop a succinct social media marketing plan by analyzing a business, which in our case is Heritage Farm. And through audits and analyses of the social media accounts, we've come to the conclusion that there is significant opportunity for improvement of such brand. We intend on targeting brand identity, content calendar creation, and increasing engagement across all targeted platforms, and we find these goals to be crucial to the maintaining of such a niche audience as museums and brands of the like. Throughout this report, we will demonstrate to you our conducted audit of the farm social media accounts, competitive and SWOT analyses of the company's social media platforms, goals, strategies, target audiences, plans of implementation, content strategies, budget, and measures of monitoring, evaluation, and key performance indicators. Moving forward, there's a little chart over here explaining the audit that we did for 3 of their social media platforms that they are located on. And just to explain that a little bit, Facebook seems to perform the best because it is the most consistent in terms of posting. On average, there are roughly 500 reviews of Heritage Farm, which are mostly positive. Common customer inquiries include hours of operation, activities or events, location, etc. The average response rate to such inquiries are typically very prompt and adequate. And posting content is sporadic in terms of content gaps, but every single one of their platforms are optimized in terms of their account. The number of followers on Facebook is very large in comparison to their Instagram and YouTube follower count. They are very consistent with their Facebook posting, but are more sporadic in YouTube and Instagram. For average engagement per post on Facebook, they have usually about 30 reactions, but no comments and 2 to 5 shares. Instagram, they have approximately 6 likes and no comments. YouTube, 2 to 5 likes, no comments, and 100 to 500 views on average. As well as the average reach per post for Facebook is 55,000 people, 500 for Instagram, and 1,000 for YouTube. And posts are most of the time on brand, I would say, if not all of the time, particularly across Facebook and Instagram, because they post the exact same things for both a lot of the time. And here are some sample screenshots as well of posts that have done quite well. See, like this one for YouTube has done a lot better than the average.
Okay, so let's talk about a competitive analysis. And this is basically just talking about competing companies and kind of what they're doing right and they're doing wrong when it comes to their social media. So one of the main competitors of Heritage Farm is actually Grits Farm, which is located in Buffalo, West Virginia. They offer a lot of the same services when it comes to like the farm, when it comes to having different animals on the farm and just having different events for children. Very similar, and that's just kind of the main competitor for Heritage Farm. So first, let's look at some shared social media platforms. They only share 3 social media platforms. They share the platforms Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And as you can see from the chart, Grits Farm basically outperforms Heritage in all those metrics. Basically is almost double the following everything. Their Facebook has about 46,000 followers. Their Instagram about 500, and then their TikTok, since it's so new, TikTok the platform when it comes to companies using it as a platform, they only have about 100 or so, but still they have almost double, sometimes even triple what Heritage has when it comes to those platforms. So definitely have a lot of success when it comes to those platforms. And one of the reasons they have a lot of success is they have kind of figured out the algorithm and how to post on them. So here, You can see their TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. This is an example post from each of them. So when it comes to their TikTok has a lot of bright colors. It shares a lot of different information. So you can see it has succulents for people who are interested in home decor on TikTok. It has it has some fresh food, some fresh agriculture for people who are interested in that. Then it also has some educational videos, like you can see a tractor and you can see pineapple tasting from West Virginia. Then their Facebook is also kind of used when it comes to sharing content, not only from the farm themselves, Grits Farm, but also from the local community in Putnam County. This is actually a share from somebody interested in the West Virginia Food Truck Festival, and Grits Farm has a lot of does a lot of things with that festival. So they just share a lot of the content from those platforms to reach as many people as they can. And then their Instagram, which I found actually is surprisingly one of the most successful, I feel like, getting the point across when it comes to uniqueness in posting content. Their Instagram uses a lot of really colorful images, colorful posts, really aesthetically pleasing photos. There's always an image in the forefront of the photo, followed by kind of blurred out lines in the rest of the image to really focus in on one thing, which is something the Instagram algorithm is really focused on. And yeah, like I said, they use a lot of bright colors and they have a very modern look when it comes to their Instagram. So they know how to post different content amongst different apps to really boost the engagement of all their social medias. So going back to Heritage Farm, we decided to conduct a SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat analysis internally and externally of the farm, just to see where the farm kind of lies and where we can make improvements. So when it comes to the farm's strengths, the farm has a really strong Facebook page and following. Basically, that's the only means of communication right now when it comes to social media, at least for their target market. They're always posting information about events happening at the farm, hours changes, just anything and everything about the farm. You get it basically from the Facebook page. Another strength that the farm has is it has a very unique attractions and activities that are not really found amongst the tri-state area. It's a Smithsonian affiliate, which means for educational buffs or history buffs, it's a really, really good resource to learn about West Virginia history, especially since it has their own little West Virginia kind of like historical village. And it was also a 2020 Traveler's Choice on TripAdvisor, so obviously a place where a lot of people like to go and spend quality time with their family. However, there are some weaknesses. There is a very weak presence on platforms other than Facebook, kind of like you saw. Not a big presence on Instagram, not a big presence on TikTok, and that's even further explored when it comes to their Twitter and their YouTube. Their Twitter actually has not been posted on since 2019, so it's definitely something that can be improved. And it's in kind of a hard to find location. It's basically kind of up in the mountains. A lot of people do have trouble trying to find it, especially trying to find the proper directions to get to the farm and to get to the entrance of the farm, where a lot of people might not know where that is. And then actually, I got to talk with the owner, Audie Perry, just about a couple different things to improve in the farm and just kind of get his take on social media plan. And one of the weaknesses he said is that locals in the area hardly go outside of holiday seasons. A lot of the locals are kind of like, yeah, I know about Heritage Farm. I went there when I was a kid. And that's kind of it. So really getting a lot more locals into Heritage Farm, knowing that there's some more new attractions and there's a lot more things to do just than for children, but there's also a lot of things to do for families or just people looking to find something to do, especially outside of that leads us right into opportunities. A new opportunity for the park, for the farm, is the adventure park. This is kind of a park, it has zip lining, dirt biking, a lot of things where a lot of people are interested in, have a lot of interest, who might not want to go walk around a historical village or go pet a bunch of animals. They're opening up new bridges to new opportunities. Like I said previously, another big opportunity is it's a very historical site. It really opens up the lenses of what West Virginia used to look like and kind of what Appalachian living used to look like. So it's a very big opportunity. Another big opportunity we found on the social media side is standardized posting. We found that some of the posting on some of the social media sites is kind of irregular, and a big opportunity is really being able to standardize the posting, get a calendar laid out for the farm to be able to formulate new posts and keep it frequently updating to boost engagement. And then the big opportunity is young families, families who are just starting out in the tri-state area, people who are just trying to have children, children who are able to walk and kind of do things on their own. They're going to be able to go to Heritage Farm and create a lot of family experiences, and that's something that the farm really will benefit from. However, there are also a lot of one of the major threats, obviously, is competing museums and farms. Rising costs across the nation, whether it comes to rising costs of maintenance, labor, food, virtual learning, found that a lot of schools are starting to lean more towards AI or virtual reality learning instead of actually getting hands-on with learning when it comes to learning about animals or learning about history. And then just another threat is just the negativity of social media. Post one wrong thing, you're going to have a crisis team come in and really try to rebuild your brand, your reputation, and that's just a big threat that's in the field. So let's talk about some goals. We kind of formulated some goals for the social media. Some goals we formulated were to increase post frequency on all platforms, refresh and reorganize all social media platforms. Like I said, the Twitter has not been posted in a long time. The YouTube has not been posted, and the Facebook and the Instagram are kind of the same thing. So really just refreshing and putting out unique content amongst all different platforms, and then creating a social media campaign to test the new platforms and to really collect data to see what platforms are working, what platforms are not. Then some long-term goals for the social media is overall just to increase the awareness of Heritage Farm as a brand and also as a museum, to create a strong and consistent social media calendar, like I said, that can be a foundation moving forward in the future of the farm, and overall to increase the engagement across all targeted platforms. So some of the distribution and content strategies we created. So some of the content types that we'd like to see Heritage Farm post through social media plan would be obviously a lot of photos of the farm, photos of animals, photos of people riding on their dirt bikes in the adventure park, as well as videos. A lot of user-generated content. User-generated content is a really effective way of getting your point across and showing people, hey, these people had a really fun time, so we can have a fun time as well. Blogs about different events on the farm, and then educational information about West Virginia history as it is relevant to the farm, being a Smithsonian affiliate and just a very historical site in general. So that's some of the content they'll be posting, but how frequently will they be posted? So on Facebook, you want to post 2 to 3 posts daily, whether that be just a text post explaining things going on the farm, maybe like a weekly posting of the farm and just photos. Instagram, we found that 3 to 5 posts per week would be a really nice frequency to post on Instagram. However, on the Instagram stories, 3 to 5 posts per day is really effective. You always want to have that little dot on the top of the Instagram stories filled with content, especially as a company. So posting multiple times a day is going to be really good for that platform on the stories. Posting on YouTube 1 to 3 times weekly, whether that be videos or different educational information, like I said, just different content types on the YouTube. And then also taking advantage of YouTube ads, 1 to 2 new ads per month, really using the budget that we have laid out to really boost engagement when it comes to Heritage Farm social. And then one of the last things is kind of the strategy outline. So kind of a brief timeline of the implementation of the social media plan. So obviously, like we said, we've created a SWOT just to really kind of touch base on some of the strengths and weaknesses of the farm. And then we also, after that, and with that, we created goals to improve the overall brand on social media. And then when it comes to a social media plan, you really want to try to refresh the social media if it needs refresh, or just relook at it and really see what's going on the different social medias and how things can be improved. And then that ultimately will lead to a campaign launch where you can start posting new content of a new campaign, and then you can start analyze all the data going forward.
Now I'm going to tell you about the target market / audience personas. First up, we have History Buff Harold. He is around age 50 to 65 plus. He has an income of around $0 to $100,000. His occupation could be either a professor, a business professional, etc. His interests are history, Appalachia, and learning. His values are preservation/conservation knowledge, and his social networks include Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. His bio would read, History Buff Harold is a 39-year-old professor of Appalachian history and culture at West Virginia University. He just recently found out about Heritage Farm Museum and is interested in visiting and learning more about what they have to offer. Harold also values preserving history and would love to see the types of artifacts that the museum has and note their condition. Further, he may bring or recommend colleagues or students in order to broaden their awareness and knowledge as well. Moving along, we have soccer mom Sally. She's around age 25 to 40. Her income is around 25K to 100K. Her occupation would be a nurse, secretary, office worker, stay-at-home mother, etc. Her interests would include crafting, travel, exercise, and her values would include family and health. Her social networks include Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Her bio would read, Soccer Mom Sally is a 32-year-old nurse at a local family doctor's office. Outside of work, she loves to spend time traveling with her children, sports events, and activities. She also loves to spend time crafting and exercises outside with her friends. She found out about Heritage Farm through her children's school after they went on a field trip. Her children would love to go back, and she spends time on Heritage Farm's social media looking for their hours, prices, and their different events. Next, we have siblings, Sadie and Sage. They are around 7 to 10 years old. Their income is they're dependent. They live with their parents or guardians. They are an elementary school or middle school student. Their interests include playing outside, playing video games, or watching cartoons. Their values are having fun at all times. Their social networks would be none, but they could possibly have messenger kids. Their bio would read, Sadie and Sage are anywhere from around 7 to 10 years old. They attend a small elementary school decently close to where they live. They enjoy going to school because they get to take fun, cool field trips to places like Heritage Farm. Their favorite thing about the farm is Critter Corner, where the animals are located. They often bug their parents to let them see photographs of the fluffy animals on the farm's social media page. Now we have Evan, the elementary teacher. He is anywhere from 25 to 45. His income would be around 45,000 to 65,000. His occupation would be an elementary school teacher or middle school teacher. His interests include being active, trying new things, adventuring, learning. His values would include family, and he's always expanding his knowledge to a new horizon. His social networks would include Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter. And his bio would read, Evan, the elementary school teacher, is a 29-year-old educator of English or math at a local elementary school. He found out about Heritage Farm Museum through those social media accounts of his friends who are teachers at the neighboring elementary school. Evan values taking advantage of every fun opportunity that arises for his students to learn in an engaging and different way. He is all about supporting local shops, restaurants, and museums. Further, he often views Heritage Farm's socials to keep an eye out for fun learning events that could be engaging for his students. Now, lastly, we have Claire the Collector. She could be around ages 40 to 70 plus. Her income would be 80,000 to 130,000. Her occupation would be a high status business owner of a collector's company or a pawn shop. Her interests would include history, Appalachia, learning about collector's items, tourism. She values preservation and conservation of items from history and taking good care of them. Her social networks include Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Her bio would read, Claire the Collector is a tourist from out of state. She is 55 years old and she runs her own collector shop/pawn shop company that was handed down to her. Claire often travels a lot and values learning about different areas and cultures and visiting as many different museums as she can. She wants her to use her platform and high status to educate people on our history. She found out about Heritage Farm Museum through social media and some colleagues of hers and decided to plan a trip to come and visit and take in the local scenery and history. When she returns to her home state, she plans on adding her findings to her history blog. Claire also values preserving history and would love to see the different types of artifacts that the museum has to offer and plans to inform her blog all about it. She also plans to tell her colleagues to take a visit as well. Now, moving on, we have platform/implementation plan. First, we're going to start out with Facebook. Facebook is a social networking site, and they use it to connect with others and share content. Heritage Farm's goal with utilizing Facebook is to put out content relating to upcoming events as well as any other important information that people may need to know. Heritage Farm recognizes that most of their reach and engagement comes from Facebook. However, in order to boost engagement and even further, a strong and consistent social media calendar should be created and used each month to successfully channel content through all the platforms. The informational graphics posted to let people know about the events should keep consistent with branding, utilizing specific fonts, color schemes, imagery, layout, etc. Moving on to Instagram. Instagram is a social networking site used to share aesthetically pleasing photos and videos. Heritage Farm seems to use Instagram to repost content from their Facebook page, such as infographics and additional content. However, their reach on Instagram is significantly low compared to their reactions from Facebook. Due to this, it would most likely be beneficial for Heritage Farm to post some more aesthetically pleasing imagery from different areas around the farm, or possibly make a fun game-like content, since the target market on Instagram is a younger audience. Going less of an informational route on this platform could prove promising. And last, we're going to talk about YouTube. YouTube is a video sharing / streaming site. Heritage Farm seems to utilize YouTube as another informational outlet, posting many educational videos about various attractions around the farm, including facts about certain animals, information about blacksmiths, and tours of various museums and buildings around the farm. However, these videos don't seem to gain much traction. Something Heritage Farm is not tapping into as much as they should is the trailer style videos, building up hype and excitement surrounding the farm. One of their videos like this has 2.1K views. If Heritage Farm were to post more frequently on YouTube and post more videos like that, that could help show a huge boost in engagement. Taking advantage of this content style could prove favorable for the farm. Now we have the sample campaigns, and Heritage Farm's first campaign will revolve around promoting one of their attractions, the Adventure Park. The campaign will start out on Facebook with an infographic providing more details about what the attraction has to offer for visitors. Then the campaign will migrate over to Instagram, where there will be a carousel of aesthetically pleasing photographs revolving around the attraction. And lastly, on YouTube, there will be a trailer type of video promoting the attraction and enticing viewers to come on down and enjoy the farm for some good old-fashioned fun. For Heritage Farm's second campaign, it would revolve around promoting another one of their attractions, the Critter Corner. The campaign would start out on Facebook, including several graphics featuring different animals along with some facts about each animal. Then the campaign would move on over to Instagram, where the graphics would be posted featuring a fun game of Guess the Animal. And lastly, on YouTube, there will be a series of videos posted in a similar format to the Facebook infographics, featuring some different animals and detailing some more facts about them. Heritage Farm's third campaign will revolve around promoting their new mascot, Wilder the Eastern Box Turtle. The campaign will start out on Facebook, including a graphic to introduce Wilder as well as give some facts about him. Then the campaign will turn over to Instagram, where there could be a fun game of Where's Wilder graphics. Lastly, on YouTube, there will be a video featuring an interview with Wilder himself.
Hello, I'm going to talk about the content strategy now. So, The content strategy for this for Heritage Farms that we decided on was to focus on specific attractions at Heritage Farms, such as the Adventure Park, the Critter Corner, etc. And we also want to focus on a consistent frequency of posts on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for all the previously mentioned campaigns. And you can see that I have listed what we recommend the frequency be for each platform. So for example, for Facebook, we think 2 to 3 times daily would be a good consistent frequency. And then for Instagram, 3 to 5 times weekly. Insta stories, 3 to 5 times daily. YouTube, 1 to 3 times weekly. And then YouTube ads, 1 to 2 ads monthly. Approximately half of all the content that is going to be provided for these platforms will be paid boosted social media posts. And so that's going to make things relatively inexpensive, which I will show in the budget slide in a couple minutes. But before I do, I also want to mention that we think it's a good idea for Heritage Farms to hire a professional photographer and a professional videographer. That's because, social media marketing is all about presenting high quality, aesthetically pleasing content. And we think that by hiring professionals to do that, it will make this a whole lot easier to obtain. So we think that it's worth the investment, even though we know that it can be quite expensive. But that's why we have right here on the slide, we talk about how you should only really hire the photographer for 2 days out of the month and the videographer for 4 days out of the month because of the usual expensive daily rates that they charge. Okay, so the monthly budget. As you can see, there's the paid boosted social media posts and the YouTube ads. And those are relatively inexpensive compared to, like I said, the photographer and videographer. So the photographer and videographer are going to be the most expensive in the budget, and that's why the total comes out to be $6,210. But again, we think it's worth the investment in the long run. So, but the good news is that the boosted posts don't cost that much. So for example, for Facebook, it costs $1 a day. Instagram is $5. YouTube ads is $1. And in the quantity section, the quantity column, I put down 30. So that means 30 days, pretty much. So 30 days for Facebook posts, for boosted Facebook posts, would be, $30. And the same can be said about the YouTube ads. For Instagram, that's going to be more expensive and it's going to total $150. But still, that's pretty inexpensive compared to a lot of other advertising that could potentially rack up a lot of expenses quite quickly. Sorry, I can't English today. So going to the key performance indicators now, we think that engagement should be the number one key performance indicator, mainly because watching the engagement on each post is going to be a good way to determine whether or not the content is actually connecting with the target audience. And what we mean by engagement is the comments and likes on each post. We think that there should be at least 2 to 3 comments and at least 20 likes on each post. We think that would be a good metric for engagement to see if things are really going well with the campaigns. And we also think that like it's not enough to just look at the engagement. You also need to find the correlation between post engagement and daily sales, because that's going to show you how much traffic is actually being drawn to the attractions. So, you know, if you are looking at the daily sales on days that you've posted for a certain attraction, I think that's going to be very valuable in the long run, because you're going to see how many, basically how many tickets or whatever metric of sales you're using, how well that's working with the advertising part. That's the engagement part. We also think that, you know, the daily sales, you need to be able to put it in a monthly report, so that way you can look at the overall sales increase or decrease, but hopefully increase. We think that your sales, your monthly sales, should at least increase by 30% from previous sales monthly. So that's a suggested metric. Obviously, you are free to adjust as you see fit, but we think 30% is a good starting point for really gauging how the campaigns are working and how much your sales are increasing. Okay, well, with that, that is all from us. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope that you've enjoyed this presentation, and have a great day. Bye.